Good afternoon. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Sunday, January 9th. Friday session off to a negative start. We had the jobs report come out and came in under expectations, 103,000 private jobs created. We created jobs, that's the good thing. We're still having that, really poor jobs addition. But that jobs report actually was probably, at least for now, a good jobs report in terms of stimulus for the market and the economy from the Fed. It was just good enough and just bad enough to keep interest rates low and the Fed buying program going. And as I've been saying over and over again, that liquidity that the Fed continues to add to the market is good for stocks and ergo good for us traders. Now, like I said in the Thursday video, ADP report, which caused a nice little pop in the market midweek, as usual, proved that it is a piece of shit report and is no good for anything. ADP report said 300,000 jobs created, a real number 100,000. Why anyone listens to the ADP report after all these years of being absolutely useless is beyond me, but hey, that's how it is. Looking at the Dow 15-minute chart, we had that initial sell-off, and of course the uptrend support line held very nicely. This is where the bears were starting to thump on their chest going, the end is here, as usual. And that, of course, is where the market started to bounce. You had bears on CNBC. You know the rest of the story. Nice little bounce into the close. We've got RSI breaking up through 50. And, we are a little bit overbought on stochastics and MACD, but the action we saw going into the close, especially in small caps, there was a lot of bullshit paint jobs into the close. And typically when we see that, especially on a Friday into the close, the next day is usually we get a nice little pop on the open. So let's see if that's the case again on Monday. Dow daily chart, you can see we've been easing off over the last couple of days. Volume has started to come into the market. Most of it is buy side volume, but we're ending the day red, so it's showing up as red candles on the chart here. But volume is starting to peak back in, and we're working off some of these overbought levels on the large caps, which is great because we're seeing that money flow down into the speculative money, which is where we live anyway. So best of both worlds. SMH looked pretty good. We had that early sell-off and then a very nice rally back midday, and then of course the same shaking going into the close. But again, I didn't draw it here on the chart. We've got a rectangle formation set up here on the SMH. Support is 32, breakout is 33.25. A break of 33.25 is our go long spot with a target of 35 plus on the SMH. Volume here is also starting to tick up, and we're going to get confirmation on the move up or down. I think it's going to be up, but the confirmation is probably going to be on volume of 10 million shares. And we're looking at possibly getting a MACD cross maybe by the end of this week is what we'd be looking at. The US dollar, though, is what we're going to be keeping an eye on here. If they're actually able to break the US dollar above that 200-day moving average at 81.66, then we would definitely need to go back into a cautious stance. But hopefully we've got another week or so left in this current phase of the move up. So we'd really like to see the dollar reverse course this week. Essentially, we've been seeing a nice move up. We've been finding resistance at 81 and then a retrace, and that's definitely what we want to see happen here this week. But let's jump into stock plays. Starting off with WZE, Wizard Software. This was a play we are positioning ahead of Macworld, and as you've noticed, penny stocks one by one have just been blowing up over the last week, and WZE is a prime candidate for a move. They are an app developer, and if you check out their website, they've got iPhone, iPad, iPod all over their website. They have 700 plus iPhone apps. Now, our timing may actually have been very nice going into this one, because after the close on Friday, Verizon announced that they're going to hold a special event on Tuesday. And what's making the rounds right now is the rumor's been around for a while, but the iPhone looks like it's going to Verizon. So traders are going to be looking for iPhone plays. And what better than a penny iPhone app stock with a very nice chart ready to break out. Target entry on this one, 27 and under. Breakout is 30 cents. As you can see, we've got a cup and handle here. We've got a 6-month cup, essentially the 30-cent range, and then we've had this 3-month handle form here. Over 30 cents, this one could really get manic. Look what NMTI, ANPI did for us in the last month. No reason why this one cannot do the same with the hype that's out there or the hype that's coming over the next couple of days. And traders are going to be hungry for plays. On balance volume on this stock throughout the last 3 months has been in a steady upward trajectory. We've got stochastics breaking up through 50. We have a very strong ADX, and I think this one's going to be very, very nice for us this week, and we'll be looking to accumulate any dips that happen on this stock. CPST, monster winner for us this week. Almost, 20% gain in a couple of days from that breakout. As usual, we were the first ones in this one. We got in, 3 days ago, under $1, 20% gain. Chart looks really, really good. Volume has been very, very nice. If you're trailing stops on this one now, stops to $1.07, $1.10, and let's see if we can get a secondary push to 135. Actually, let me pull back again. We'd be looking to add another breakout on this one. We'd be adding to positions. $1.20 is what a break of $1.20 essentially is an add consideration with that 130, 135 target and stops on that add at 115. So we're going to be looking at CPST tomorrow for ads if it sees continued strength. Now QTWW, another alternative energy stocks, one by one these have been blowing up. As I mentioned, even PLUG popped. This one, the volume has yet to come into it. So this is one, if and when, I'm thinking when we get volume, we're probably looking at needing volume. 2 million shares should take it out on a break through the 20-day exponential of 47 cents. And we could see a very nice, 20-25% move on this one up to the 200-day moving average. So 54, 56 cents. And, as these EEE, CPST, PLUG, SUF, the one that we got a 50% move on in 2 days. One by one these are going. There's very few left. This one's at the bottom. Chart looks ready. Stochastics have peaked up above 20, and I'm thinking this is the week that we get paid on QTWW. WEST, we did get a nice little break on this one on Thursday. You saw it mentioned all over Twitter. Chat rooms jumping into this one. Hit resistance at 58 cents, so those pumpers jumped out, and then you saw a little shakeout into the close on Friday before it bounced back. Breakout and add on this one is 60 cents, so we're just going to sit here. Solar stocks, alternative energy stocks have been doing very, very well, so we're just going to sit here and patiently wait for this one to move. Strong support at 47 cents, and it's just a waiting game on this one right now as they get run one by one. EMKR, on the other hand, we had a very nice open on this one, hit 127 plus, actually 128 on Friday, but then the overall weakness in the market sort of pushed it down. But as you can see, nice bounce on this one. RSI about to break 50. Positive MACD cross. We're probably looking at that maybe Tuesday, possibly Monday if we get a pop. And as you can see, stochastics up through 20 and a positive ADX cross coming. So chart looking really, really good here. That break of... It really gets going on a break of the 50-day moving average at 132. So let's see if we can get that break this week. Again, alternative energy stock and solar play. And just look what ZBB did. I got to bring this one up. I mean, absolute monster for us over the last month. Sold it too soon, but hey, look at this action. 100%, actually 200% gain from our call in mid-December. Doesn't get any better than that. For those of you still trailing this one higher, congratulations on having better patience than me on this play. JSDA Jones Soda, I mentioned in the video on Thursday night, was actually one we nibbled late Thursday as well. It looked like the stock was getting ready to break out, and it went boom on Friday. Hit our first target, that upper limit, got as high as 145. Retraced on the weakness in the market, but I'm loving the setup here. As I mentioned on Thursday, the measured target on the breakout here is 175, 180. You had a lot of, this one got hyped in the same chat rooms that hyped WEST. So, they got trapped up here in $1.40. Sold down here to us at $1.30, and then we had a nice little bounce. So we'd be looking for a continuation on this one this week. Very nice volume, and the indicators say this one's got a lot more upside ADX or stochastics up through 50, and then the ADX just looks fantastic on JSDA, and I think we're going to have a very nice week here this week. LVLT, another nice little winner for us. The candle on Friday, a little bit misleading. We had that early sell-off with the market, and then it powered back nicely before getting painted at the close. Key to watch here, a close above a $1.14. So $1.15 close, and we're off to the races. As you can see, the 200-day moving average has acted as pretty strong resistance here. So we're going to be watching that level pretty closely and riding our half position on this one. DEJ, this one, again, still on watch. Solar, alternative energy, oil plays were doing very well last week. We had a couple of oil plays really blow up on Friday. This one's still trading at the bottom. At least a push to 38 cents here is not asking too much, in my opinion. And it's shown pretty strong resilience around the 32 area, the 20-day exponential. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this one. I think, this one, again, like a lot of stocks, had a really bogus print on the close, which makes the chart not look as nice as it should be. This week, as I mentioned on Thursday, we've got a lot of biotech conferences this week. We got a couple. JP Morgan's got one. We've got the One Med one. And actually, let me start off with SNT. This one finally broke out on very high volume. Hit our first target, 36 cents on the nose. Heavy volume. These guys are presenting at the One Med conference this week, and the stock went bananas as traders jumped in. Now, our secondary play on that is CXM. This one got beaten right at the end of December when they came out with news saying that the FDA had asked for some more news because, they've got a new plant to manufacture their drug. And until the FDA, gets what they want on that, it's a pretty standard item, but it happened at the end of the year, and you had tax sellers come in. Now we're starting that bounce. We've got the One Med conference this week. Breakout 50-day and 200-day moving average are right there at 46 cents. So I'm thinking we're going to get a break of 46 cents tomorrow, and we could see a really fast move up there to the 52-cent area. RSI about to break 50. Check it out. We're about to get a positive MACD cross, which always is very good on this stock. And we've got on-balance volume showing the buyers coming back into this one. So this should be a nice little biotech play for us this week. PRKR, been pretty frustrating. This is another stock that had a bullshit close on Friday. It was trading at 46 cents. And then after hours, you looked at your account and you went, what the hell, 44-cent close? Another one of those paint jobs, but it closed right at the support line. Breakout is 55 cents. So this is where you buy, or this is where you buy on this stock. Otherwise, in between, sit and wait for the breakout. RSI down to 50. Stochastics down to the uptrend line at 50, so should see a nice little pop on this one tomorrow, just off the indicators on the chart. COOL, this one's just not worked out to plan. Did not get any extra momentum off the GLUU pop last week. Down there at support. We've got earnings possibly Monday or Wednesday, give or take. There's some conflicting data out there, and as a rule, we never hold stocks in earnings, and if we do, we hold a tiny position. This one, let's see what the earnings report is, especially given how it's acted over the last couple of days before playing it, but not every play is going to work out. SCON did pretty well. Our target was 170 plus. It got as high as $1.68. CES is over. They didn't come out with any news, but they've got a lot of contracts possibly coming from the LTE stuff that's out there. So you can keep an eye on it. The chart still looks pretty good. We've got RSI in an uptrend. Stochastics looking like it's going to bounce, but the event is over. And as a rule of thumb on momentum stocks, when the event is over, you look to exit. NEI, fat winner for us. This is one we loaded up last week, actually. One of my top January popper plays. As I mentioned, whenever the chart indicators got the way that they did, stochastics and the MACD cross, every single time it gave a 20-cent plus pop, 148 to 170. We almost got a 30-cent pop on it this time. Chart looks a little bit toppy. Hopefully we'll get a pullback back to the 50-day moving average 155 area, or we look to buy a break of $1.80 on this one. So right now we've got NEI working off some of that big run over the last few days, and we'll be keeping an eye on this one to add a position. Last but not least, keep an eye on IFON. We've played this one before, but we've got a long-term cup and handle and symmetrical triangle handle breakout looming here. Would stick an alert on this one, 90 cents. If it does break that 90 cents, this is one that could give a 20 to 25% move, and the indicators are there. So just one to stick on your watch list for volume and or a break in 90 cents to see how we're going to trade it. So that's it for the video this week. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing how much of a move we get out of WZE this week. I think it's going to be very, very nice to us. And again, laggard QTWW, its day is coming, and it should be a nice little pop when it does come. This is a stock, it'll sleep, 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 annoy the hell out of you, and then go boom in one day. So hopefully we'll have that happen tomorrow. That's it for the video. Any questions, shoot me an email, feedback at buysellshort.com, or hit me up in the chat room, and I will see you guys there tomorrow. Good night.